Warning, this BatRep is incomplete. We had to end at the bottom of turn 2, but it seemed like a shame to waste the footage. So, trying out a couple new techniques here. If you have any suggestions, comments, rule corrections, comment below. This is a 1,000-point rematch of Orks versus Necrons. For part 1, click on the annotation. First off, looking at my Orks. I started off with Wazdaka Gut Mech as my HQ choice. Allowed me to bring the Bike Boys as troop choices and also a Knob with Power Claw. Next up, we've got a squad of 10 Ludas. And after that, we've got 9 Burna Boys and 1 mech, and they're piled into a battle wagon with a Deff Rolla and Kill Cannon. Last, we've got a squad of 11 boys led by a Knob and a truck with a big shooter. Les's NECRON'S. He brought 2 squads of 9 warriors led by a Lord with Resurrection Orb, Mind Shackle Scarabs, and a Staff of Light. And both of those are loaded into Ghost Arks. There's also a squad of 9 Immortals led by an Overlord, and the Overlord has Mind Shackle Scarabs and a War Scythe as well as the Resurrection Orb. And then there's those crafty little Scarabs. Roll to see who goes first. And the Orks win the roll and decide to go first. Next we'll roll for mission and deployment. And we got Seized Ground and Pitched Battle. And Seized Ground, we had 3 objectives. So we'll take a look at the table. This is from the Orks point of view. We had set up at this point. You see we each place an objective close to us, and I actually, because I moved first, I put another one close to me as well. There's the Orks setup from the Necron point of view. And we'll see if Les can steal initiative. And a 1, so no. So on to Orks turn 1. Start off by moving the battle wagon up 6 inches. I guess 7 inches because of the red paint job. Next up, the bikes are going to move along the right flank to get a better shot at the Ghost Ark. Next, the truck is going to move around and just hug some cover. Now onto the shooting phase. Wazdaka is going to target the Ghost Ark. Managed to get 2 hits in 1 penetrating roll. And on the damage only gets a 1, which is Crew Shaken, which Living Metal negates. So next up, the Kill Cannon is going to target those nasty little Scarabs. And managed to scatter 6 inches towards, from a camera point of view, to the right. Now, eventually I'll get my ruler or my measuring tape so we can actually do that, but you'll see we'll move it over 6 inches, and it managed to land exactly in between the Scarabs and the Immortals, so no damage there. Next up, the Ludas are going to target the other Ghost Ark. Now they get D3 hits, so a 4 equals 2 shots each. That's 20 shots. Of those, there's 9 hits, of which you get 2 glances. Couldn't penetrate it with the strength of the weapon, but managed to get a 5, which with the -2 for glance but +1 for open top manages to destroy the Ghost Ark. So now he's just going to have to unload those warriors. And once he's done making sure they're within 2 inches of the vehicle, next up the truck is going to target the Immortal Squad. He gets 3 hits, of which he makes 3 shots, which 1 hit, and he managed to fail that. So on to Necron's turn 1. So Les starts off by moving his Immortals closer, keeping them dispersed because he wants to avoid that Kill Cannon shot. Next, the Ghost Ark is going to move up 6 inches, making sure that he can still fire. The warriors inside can still fire once he pivots it there on the edge. Now he's going to move the Scarabs up, and the Necron warriors from the destroyed Ghost Ark are going to grab some cover there. On to the Necron shooting phase. So the Ghost Ark is going to target the battle wagon with its array. So it's got 10 shots, of which it makes 8 hits, which one of those is glancing because it's a Gauss weapon. Now I rolled a 5, which should have been weapon destroyed, but unfortunately we for some reason didn't do that. So next up to the warriors within the Ghost Ark, they're going to get 18 shots, of which they get 11 hits, again 1 glancing, and on the damage roll he rolls 5, which again -2 for glancing, but his weapon destroyed, so we seem to missed it the first time through. Next up, the Scarab's going to run during their shooting phase, and that leaves the warriors targeting the truck, so they get 8 shots, of which there's 5 hits, and there's 1 glancing hit, but because it's behind cover, the truck gets to make a cover save. So the Scarabs move in on the assault, and then they're going to get 20 attacks, of which 9 are able to hit because the vehicle moved. Now we rolled 4 to wound and eliminate any 1s because we weren't sure, even though the AV was below their strength, if they would be auto hits. So they do their damage, do a significant number of hits, they get 3 exploded, so the battle wagon is going to blow up, and it's rolling 1 inch to see the blast damage, so we know the 3 Scarabs in the front get a blast damage as well. So had to find a blast template that was could fit in the area, so the Burna boys are going to be forced to go in there. And these are the 3 hits against the strength 3 hits against the Scarabs, which they managed to take 3 wounds but make 1 save. There's 2 wounds against that 1 base. And the boys take 10 hits, of which there's 5 wounds, and they managed to make, or say 6 wounds, and managed to make 3 saves. So we lose 3 boys. And on the pinning test, they managed to roll a 6, so they stayed there. So that's the end of turn 1. So do a quick flyby from the Ork side first. As you can see, no one's really worrying about the objectives yet. Definitely a different feel from the game that Les and I had last. Look at our last battle report, where the Orks dominated quite significantly. Comment below if you think that if the Orks seem to hold their own, or if the Necrons sort of schooled them. On to Orks turn 2. So next up, the bikes are going to move closer to the rear of that Ghost Ark. The truck's going to move up a little bit closer as well to get a better shot of the boys. And the Burna boys are going to move out of the difficult or the dangerous terrain. Now they did fail one of the rolls, so one of the guys was removed as a casualty. And they're getting out of that crater. Onto the Ork shooting phase. Both the biker boys and Wazdaka are going to target the back of the Ghost Ark. Wazdaka gets 4 shots, the biker boys get 18. The biker shots are twin linked, so in total there's 1 Wazdaka hit and 13 biker boys hits, which winds up producing 2 glancing hits, to which the roll in the back is stunned, and the living metal negates both of those. So next up, the Burna boys are going to light up those Scarabs that have caused them all that pain. So after the templates figuring out how many hits they get, there's going to be 24 hits on those Scarabs, of which there's 20 wounds. And with an AP of 5 compared to their save of 5, that manages to wipe out all those bases. Next up, the truck is going to target the warriors with the big shooter. So there's 3 shots with 2 hits and 2 wounds. But the Necrons managed to save both of those. Next up, the boys are going to use their shooters and shoot into the same group. So there's 22 shots and 11 hits. And of those, there's 8 wounds. And Les is only able to make 4 saves. So he loses 4 warriors in that shooting phase so far. Next up, the Ludas are going to target those same warriors. And with the D3 shots, they're getting 18 shots in total. 1 of them wasn't quite within range. And of those 18, only 5 were able to hit, but all 5 of those wounded. So Les played strategically here and took the 5 wounds, 1 against his Lord, because if he had wiped out all of them, he would not have been able to resurrect them. So he managed to pass his leadership, and then on the resurrection roll, the Lord doesn't come back, but 5 of the warriors do. So next up now, the bikes and Wazdaka are going to charge into the back of the Ghost Ark. Start off with the Knob. Now he gets 4 attacks and only 1 hit, but that 1 hit is penetrating, and he managed to, because it's an open top, it takes a 3 up to 4, so he mobilizes that Ghost Ark. Wazdaka is going to have his turn now, and he gets 5 attacks. Only 1 of those hit, and it's only a crew shaken, and living metal once again proves its worth and manages to negate that hit. So on to Necron's turn 2. So the squad of Necron warriors are going to pile out of that immobilized Ghost Ark and try to position themselves so they can lay some fire into the biker boys and Wazdaka. The Immortals are going to move up, so it gives them better line of sight against the remaining Burnaboys. And the other warrior squad is just going to back up a little bit. Now the Ghost Ark is going to fire with its array. It's got 10 shots, managed to get 2 hits and fail both of them. Next up, the other side of the array is going to target the Burnaboys, and unfortunately, this is where we got the call that we had to end the game right away. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Just want to see if you have any comments or suggestions, please put them in the field below. Also, I'm curious, just because I know in a lot of these battle reports you don't see people calling out the hits, the wounds, the saves. Is there value in that? If you like that approach, let me know, because it does take a little bit longer to do. But if I think people are enjoying it and finding it useful. Also, as always, and I appreciate everyone who's done it so far, if you see that we're making mistakes, let us know. That's the only way that Les and I will learn. And again, if you have any questions, throw them into the comment section below, or you can always pop over to my blog, and the link's in the comment section below as well. Once again, thank you very much.